I can hear a hawk in the background. How cool would it be if it just swooped in? There it is! It's another day, it's another time. I'm coming to terms with the fact that I can't read every series that people have been recommending me, all the books people recommend me. So I need to focus and I need to narrow it down so that I can at least get to some of them, you know? Because I have a problem where I'm definitely a mood reader. I pick up whatever book catches my fancy in that week. And to be honest, I think that's actually a good way to read. Then you end up reading what you actually want to read in the moment. But when you have a channel and you have to talk about these books and everything, it makes it a little messy because I have so many series that I've started, but then I haven't finished because I'm a mood reader. So oftentimes I'll pick up the first book in a series, I'll love it, and then I'll move on to something else that sounds interesting. And I decided I need to try to cut down doing that. I do need to focus in and finish some of the series that I started, but there's also a few new series I want to start this year, if I'm being honest, and we're going to talk about that in this video. I definitely have a goal of just focusing more, though. I got to fix my reading habits. Also, new merch, I'll talk about it later, but there's a link in the description if you want to check it out. Last year, I didn't really have the best reading habits. Sometimes I would go months without reading anything, and I really want to focus on reading more, but let's be honest, sometimes it can be difficult to focus, and I want to start by building my mental wealth and making those daily habits that help you with energy and stress and focus. And one of those daily habits for me is Magic Mind. This has actually been helping a lot. I started off by doing the 7-day challenge and I was a little bit skeptical. I wanted to see if I would actually notice any performance boost. And now I can't stop. I've been taking it for over 2 months now because I feel like it just gives me a really calm energy. And it also helps me feel dialed in when I'm reading now. Like I said, I take this in the morning and then I sit down and I read. It's 2025. There's no better time to build up your mental wealth than now. So if you want to try Magic Mind, for the first time ever, they're offering a welcome pack, which includes the shots and a book and access to their app, all bundled together with 50% off if you use my link or scan the QR code on the screen. So starting off, I really want to read the Sun Eater series. You guys have recommended these books to me so much, and I feel like a lot of people that know my reading tastes have recommended it to me. So if I'm being honest, my expectations are pretty high. I'm really hoping it's gonna live up to those expectations. So I'm a little nervous about that actually, but I'm also pretty confident that I'll enjoy it. And I decided I want to experience the series for the first time with you guys. So I'm actually gonna be hosting a Sun Eater read-along or buddy read on the Discord server. So if you want to be notified for that, you can join the Discord. I'm gonna notify everybody. I'll just tag everyone with more details closer to the time. But as of right now, the plan is to start the read-along in May because I have a bunch of books I need to finish up for SPFBO in April. So May, I should be completely free to just focus on Sun Eater. I'm not entirely sure how many of them I plan on reading this year. Maybe we can actually make our way through all of them. How many Sun Eater books are there? I don't even know. And also, I don't even know what Sun Eater is about, if I'm being honest, and I kind of want to keep it that way. I know it's like a space opera. That's kind of all I know about it. I have no clue what else it's about. I imagine it like a mix of Red Rising and Dune, but I don't know how accurate that is. Let me know in the comments. I've always thought the covers were pretty cool though, and they say don't judge a book by the cover. Oftentimes, I find that isn't true. Lots of series, I pick them up because the cover looks awesome, and the book ends up being awesome as well. So, I don't know. I mean, props to the book designers who bring out that potential in the book by making an amazing cover that makes you just want to buy it. Now, I'm also going to be reading the Bloodsworn Saga by the legendary John Gwynne this year. I am a huge fan of the Faithful and the Fallen, and I actually want to make some videos on the Faithful and the Fallen this year. John Gwynne is amazing. I mean, he writes action incredibly well. He writes characters surprisingly well. I wasn't expecting to feel so much emotion for these characters, and I wasn't expecting to read, I wasn't expecting to get such heroic characters, I guess. I thought that the Faithful and the Fallen was grimdark. I don't actually think it is grimdark now. I feel like it's much more heroic fantasy, and it had some of the most heroic moments, some of the most lighthearted, but also tragic moments, and I loved that. it's such a great book. It still has a lot of the fantasy tropes that we know, but I feel like John Gwynne just pulled it all together really well. And I've heard that the Bloodsworn Saga is like one of the best Nordic fantasy series in recent years, and the covers are amazing. That's always a huge highlight. I mean, I'm not one of the readers that makes everything about aesthetics, but a good cover, you can't go wrong with a good cover. And I've also just heard a lot of good things about the Bloodsworn Saga. Oh, I stepped in something squishy. I hope that's not a cow patty. No, I think I'm safe. I'm also not entirely sure how the Bloodsworn Saga ties into the Faithful and the Fallen. I know it's in like the same world. I don't know if there's gonna be like some of the same characters appearing. I got no clue. I'm kind of out of the loop on all of this, but I guess I'm gonna find out. And maybe that's another series that I'll do a buddy read for. I don't know, because you kind of have to read the Faithful and the Fallen first, right? So I'm not sure, but I would really like to do a lot more read-alongs on the Discord server this year. So again, shameless plug, go join the Discord server. We're a very welcoming community of fantasy lovers. We're very non-toxic, and if you just want to chat about fantasy books, or really anything, like you can talk about anything on there, we're all friends. It's great. What is that sound? I don't know if that was a bird, or... Do you hear that? Oh, I think it's a magpie. It's like, you know, it's black and white. But I've never heard it make that noise before. I think it wants to be friends. Or it might want to mate. Maybe I should go. Do you ever feel shame? Because I do. And part of that shame has to do with the fact that I haven't read the Hyperion Cantos by Dan Simmons. And this is one of the most greatest, you know, sci-fi sagas of all time, and I've heard lots about it. I know about the Shrike, and for some bizarre reason, I just never got around to reading it. And I mean, it makes sense. I'm not as well versed in sci-fi as I am in fantasy, so I would like to change that this year. I want to read a lot more sci-fi. If you have any sci-fi recommendations, feel free to let me know, because yeah, I would really like to read more sci-fi. So I do intend on reading Hyperion this year. I don't know if I'll read all 4 of them. I at least want to read the first book and see how I feel. But again, this is a series I have very high expectations for, so I'm hoping it's gonna live up to those expectations. Let me know if you've read Hyperion in the comments, and if you'd like to see some videos on it. And on the topic of shame, another series that I am ashamed I haven't finished yet is Realm of the Elderlings. It has been years and years since I first read the Farseer trilogy. It's still one of my favorite trilogies. I love Fitz, but I never really continued until recently. I started on the live ship traders, and I do intend on finishing the live ship traders this year. I might not get to any more of the Realm of the Elderlings, but I think that's enough progress at least. I owe it to myself to at least read live ship. But really, this shame is not going to disappear until I finally read all of the Realm of the Elderlings. So wish me luck. The thing is, Robin Hobb emotionally drains you with her books, so I often need to like take breaks in between because some of it can be kind of heavy and depressing, and yeah, it might take a while to get through all of the Realm of the Elderlings, but it shouldn't have taken this long. That's completely my fault. That again just really comes down to being a mood reader and starting multiple series at once, and that's something that I want to kill in 2025. At least a little bit. I mean, I'm still probably gonna just read what I want to read, but I do want to get more focused with it, and I do want to finish some of the series that I've already started. But if you really think I should, like, focus on Realm of the Elderlings, let me know in the comments, because I wouldn't mind a little bit of encouragement, to be honest. As much as I love Robin Hobb books, and I think she's a brilliant writer, sometimes it just takes me a while to get through her books, which isn't a bad thing. I love a nice slow burn, and I would definitely say Hobb's books are kind of slow burns, so I do need to be in the right, like, mindset going into it. I don't even know what this is. I guess a greenhouse? It's seen better days, though. Another series that I definitely want to finish or get to this year is Gunmetal Gods by Zamil Akhtar. Zamil actually sent me the, like, deluxe edition of Gunmetal Gods. absolutely beautiful, one of the most beautiful books on my shelf. I should have some footage I'll show you guys, but it is such an incredible edition of the book, and he's also sent me the entire series in paperback as well. And often when I get sent books, I feel obligated to read them, but that's not going to be a hard sell with Gunmetal Gods. I've wanted to read this series way before Zamil even contacted me. The covers alone, just with these eldritch monstrosities, definitely grabbed my attention, and also it's like a grimdark fantasy. I love the sort of Middle Eastern mythology inspiration in there. So I guess I'm trying to say, even if he didn't send me the deluxe edition, I would still want to read Gunmetal Gods this year, but it's the cherry on top, having that deluxe edition. It's one of those books you want to put on display on your bookshelf, but I should probably read it if I'm going to put it on display. I'm really hoping I'll like it. Let me know if you've read Gunmetal Gods. I have heard some really great things about it, though. I've already started it. I'm like a few chapters in, and I am really enjoying it so far. I'll have to update you guys with all my thoughts on Gunmetal Gods. I'm always a big sucker for Lovecraftian fantasy. Give me an eldritch monster, I'm already sold. Also, it's grimdark, and I really have been enjoying grimdark recently. Sometimes I don't like when grimdark is like overly nihilistic, or if you just can't relate to any of the characters, or you can't find anything to like in the characters. That gets a little frustrating sometimes. But I mean, I thought I didn't like grimdark for the longest time until I actually tried reading some of them, and now I'd say I'm actually a fan of grimdark. I mean, Joe Abercrombie is the one that pretty much put me down that path. I even enjoyed the what's it called? The Prince of Thorns by Mark Lawrence. I really enjoyed that series. However, Jorg is a character I didn't like. I mean, he does horrific things. You're not really meant to like him. So that one's a little bit difficult of a sell for some people, but it's still such a great series. I've also really been enjoying the Black Company books. I haven't read all of them yet, but Black Company is amazing as well. Maybe I should read more Black Company this year. No, I need to stay focused. That was not part of this video. I need to draw a line somewhere. And then we have Malazan, Book of the Fallen, another series I'm just ashamed I haven't read more of. It is definitely, I guess, a difficult series to get into. Honestly, I didn't find it as difficult as people say that it is, but I really enjoyed Gardens of the Moon, the first book. And that's actually, I've kind of looked to Gardens of the Moon for writing inspiration as well. I've only just started on Deadhouse Gates, so I've got a long way to go, but Steven Erikson is one of those authors I already just immensely respect. There's just a complexity and quality to his writing that I look up to, and that I want to try and bring into the series that I'm writing, but I don't feel like I can ever be as good as a writer as Steven Erikson. I can at least strive to, I guess. I'm completely rambling now, but anyway, I do want to read some more Malazan, Book of the Fallen. Like I said, I'm on Deadhouse Gates. I'm hoping to get through a few of them this year. Maybe I can get to like 2 more. I guess we'll see, but I do want to start updating you guys on my thoughts on Malazan, because it's been a while since I even read the first book, but I do have a whole bunch of notes like written down because I was going to make a review and I never did, but I do have a ton of my notes written down, so I'll probably make a video on Gardens of the Moon soon. And eventually, I want to make a whole in-depth summary series on Malazan, so that's going to be a lot of work, but someone has to do it. Oh, and I'm also finishing the Greenbone Saga this year by Fonda Lee. I only just read the Jade City. I read that like kind of later in 2024, so I do need to go and start the next ones right away so that I can get that series finished. It's really good. Everybody has already talked about it, I know, but yeah, it's a fantastic series. I've been enjoying it quite a bit, and I'll have to make a whole video on that as well. Now, there's also a ton of like manga and graphic novels that are on my list to get to this year. I'm going to be reading a lot more Berzerk. I've also been getting a little bit into comics. Surprisingly, I never really thought I would get into comics. I've always felt like comics are kind of difficult to get into. Like, I'm not the type of person that's going to go buy single issues of comics, but recently I decided to pick up the Ultimate Spider-Man like omnibuses, omnibuy. What is the plural of Omnibus? I don't even know. But yeah, recently I saw that Ultimate Spider-Man was on sale on Amazon, and, well, most of them anyway. I didn't buy the second Omnibus. I'm waiting for that to go on sale at some point. But I decided to pick it up because I've always been a Spider-Man fan, but I've never actually read, like, much of the comics. I've read maybe a little bit here and there, but I wanted to finally like dive in and read one of the most highly rated runs of Spider-Man. And now I'm almost finished with the very first omnibus, and already I can say I am loving it. The whole reason I wanted to get into comics recently is because I've been playing Marvel Rivals a little bit, and I thought I might as well give comics a try. Now I'm very interested in reading more, so I know some of you on the Discord server have recommended several others like Saga and the Uncanny X-Men. I actually have started reading the Uncanny X-Men as well. I'm enjoying that quite a bit. That all came very unexpectedly though, so I'm not really sure how far I'm gonna dive into comics and graphic novels this year, but I'd like to explore it a bit. Let me know if you have any recommendations in the comments or tag me on Discord. Pretty soon, I also want to start the Southern Reach trilogy by Jeff Vandermeer. I've heard a lot of good things about this, and a friend of mine heavily recommended it. From what I gather, it's kind of reminding me a bit like Lost, and I love Lost, so I'm looking forward to getting to this. It's also pretty short, and with all the other series I want to get to, short is a good thing. And of course I want to finish the Library series by Mark Lawrence as soon as I get my hands on the third book. Let me know all the books that you want to get to this year, and if there's any you think I should add to my never-ending TBR. If you want to disrupt my focus, give me more recommendations. Also, we have new merch, and I love it. I actually ordered like a bunch of different hoodies and stuff that are gonna arrive soon, so I'm excited to show you that as well. But this is the Captured in Words book club merch. It's the perfect attire if you plan on joining the read-alongs on the Discord server, or if you just wanna help out the channel and, you know, have some fantasy-inspired merch to wear. Also, I don't know if you can tell, but this is embroidered and way higher quality than the previous, like, merch store that I had up years ago. I've completely revamped all my merch, and it's just way higher quality clothing. It's embroidered. It's like everything is just better. I'll have a link in the description to the merch shop if you want to check that out. Oh, also, I guess let me know your thoughts on this video, how I filmed it, because this is the first time I've done something like this, like outside. I should have just called this video, Reader Goes Outside for the first time. Maybe I'll go outside more often. Who knows? And a huge thank you to all of my patrons and my channel members and people who help out on Ko-Fi. You guys are all amazing. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon.